Hello anyone who comes across this video. I decided to make it to show my Minecraft world. The world name is lowercase a. That is also the seed that I used to create it. And it was done on default settings. Vanilla 1.15.2. Let's go into it and show you what I've done. So I've got in the habit of playing only hardcore games now, and as you can see, this game is well developed from start. I never thought to make a video of the starting point. I'm not too far from where the starting point was. I am level 65. I believe that this was, birch forest is what this mainly was, although I've seeded oak trees over here. Birch forest, and then some rolling hills off on the side here, and some mountains out this way. That was the start. Cleared all the trees around, tried to flatten the land, and as you can see, I've built my gardens. If you're interested, seed lowercase a is actually numerically 97. So if you wanted to create your own copy of this world, that is what it is. Vanilla Minecraft seed 97. Got my animals laid out. I have gotten one of each animal, farm animals anyway. You can see a cat there. I'll get into that later. There's a village nearby. I generated these bee hives manually just by seeding the trees amongst the flowers. There were no beehives in the vicinity when I created the world. Got my pumpkin and melon farm here. So yeah, this is basically the surface area, playing in hardcore mode. What I'm doing is I'm trying to create an area where I will be able to defeat a raid, solo a raid in hardcore mode, which I've done in the past, but I never thought about making videos about how I did it. And I stayed true to form as well, if anybody's wondering. When I'm playing hardcore mode, if the game glitches or something corrupts it, I might go in and use a save. But if I get killed by a mob, true to form, that's it. So I haven't actually gotten any surface buildings ever in any of the games I've played. I've never had any surface buildings. I start with a cellar. I clear the area around me, create a 6x6 torch grid, expand it out farther as time goes by. That is how I basically set up my worlds. Keep my food handy, my animals handy. The cellar is my main holding area, which I've got a water trough here. Just lay out some chests. Map of the general area. There is some deep dark oak forest down there that I go and get my mushrooms at. And I'll tell you why in a minute. And I just create a simple little bedroom. That's so I can hide from spawns. It's very hard to complete a hardcore game. You got to be really careful in what you do. Look at my equipment. I don't know if I mentioned it. I'll do this first. I'm at day 464, so I'm well into this game. And I always put my cellar at level 50. And the reason for that is I want to be below any surface water and any of the small divots and dips that come across the ground as I'm wandering around. But I don't want to be too far down that I get into everything else. This here is a sugarcane farm. Basically what happens is this is a straight line tunnel. It goes all the way down, I want to say 60 squares, turns, comes back, ends up being right against the back of these furnaces. Goes back down, comes back, goes back down, and comes out at the far side, which is where my village is. I have an underground village in this game. I don't know if anybody does this. I'm pretty sure a lot of people who play Minecraft know what this is. We got ourselves an anvil. We got ourselves a grindstone for taking enchantments off. I got myself my enchanting room with all the bookshelves to give it max level enchantment. And and then this goes down into the mine. I guess you could call it mine. It's basically where you go down to get my diamonds. What happened when I was playing this game is I came across a zombie spawner. And it's quite a ways away from where my cellar was. But when you looked on the surface, It's directly below the mob farm. And you'll see off in the distance, this is a shorter route to it. We got a 5-layer mob farm that's built upon a zombie spawning room. Once I came across the zombie spawning room, I got this ingenious idea. Actually, not on this particular game, I've had it in the past. So what you got here is regular mobs dropping down as well as zombies. There's going to be once I'm within 16 squares of the zombies, first thing I'm going to have to do, sorry guys, I never thought about doing this. Bear with me a second. That's all going to mix in with my voice audio, so we'll turn this down. Actually, let's just go hostile creatures off and friendly creatures off, because there's going to be a lot of noise here. Okay, back to the world. Yeah, so the zombie spawner gave me, there's a zombie right there, zombie villager. That's important because I like to get the discounts from villagers. So what I'm doing is I'll use a golden apple and an enchanting potion, a splash potion of weakness, and I will convert that zombie. Now I never had the time to put a piston in. This thing has just been going crazy, and it's actually dangerous now for me to go up there. I wonder if I have anything I can block that with. Oh, we can just make a block. What I've been doing, normally there would be a piston in here in my previous games. That keeps more creatures from dropping. You do not use your sword, you have to use your axe. And the reason for that is you do not want the sweeping edge effect of a sword to kill that zombie villager. And I didn't put see, my sword's pretty maxed out right now. That's because you get endless experience, so you can spend lots of levels maxing out your stuff. I got sweeping edge 3. I never got my sharpness to 5. I won't let me do it now that I have mending on it because it's too expensive. I tried and I can't get it to level 5. But nonetheless, the sword does awesome damage on creatures in this killing zone. I just got, by luck, I just had a zombie fall that was a zombie villager, so if nobody's ever done this before, I can talk it through on this particular video. What you're hearing is my mouse clicking. I play with a laptop on a laptop stand in my lazy boy with a loud mouse. So that's my mouse clicking. Okay, so we've got the zombie villager isolated. The tunnel's blocked so nothing else can fall in and interfere with them. Let's grab, I pre-make my apples and splash potions, of course, because if you have to walk away from materials, this guy will disappear if you get too far away. So first step, splash potion on him, which splash potioned me as well, but that's alright. There are no mobs can get in here, or at least there better not be any mobs that can get in here. They do not walk down my little cellar axis. Actually they do. Once in a while one will come down my cellar axis, the tunnels over here, or my stairwells out to the surface, but I'm usually too far away for them even to sense me, so I've never had a problem that way. Got another processing stand here. That's because all these mobs drop all kinds of crap. I eventually want to make a world where I have a sorting station. I've always meant to make a sorting station or a sorting system so all this stuff can be split up and sorted, but I just never get around to it. And that's because in hardcore mode, like I said, if I get killed, fall into lava for any particular reason, I do not restart my game. I do have a save game. Every few days I'll save it just in case something crashes, but to be honest with you, Minecraft is a pretty solid game the way it writes to its servers. This is just a trash bin where I throw stuff I don't want. The way it writes to its servers, I've never actually had that happen where corruption has made me lose a world. It's always for me doing stupid stuff and getting killed. But back to as I was saying, in future game I'm going to focus on building that sorting system because I really do spend a lot of time transferring stuff from here. For instance, I melt down all of this stuff, and what I did is I basically just used all my melts and mob drops, got suits of armor that I'm eventually going to enchant and put on armor stands. These spell books of mending came from villagers. Once this guy, I can't get too far away from him because I don't want him to despawn. So I'm actually stopped my touring of my area now until he's done. This can take a while though, unfortunately. if I run out of things to say, I'll probably just cut the video until he's turned and come back. Let's do that. Actually, I'll just stop the video and cut this part out. One thing I should say is the reason this is all kind of misshapen, I haven't beautified it, is because the village is very close. It's actually just down a tunnel right here. And the damn villagers were generating so many gnomes. They're trying to get protection because they can sense the monsters nearby. They really just generate an endless amount of iron gnomes. So I have got to create it in such a way here that they don't appear in here. Otherwise I'm walking around them, and of course in hardcore mode you do not mess with iron gnomes when you're at the same level of them anyway. You can use archery, but I do not go near them. As a matter of fact, I've killed myself a few times just by accidentally selecting one, which of course is a punch. And yeah, they immediately turn, attack me, and I'm toast. So, and just nearby this little chest over here, I didn't mention this. This is just a chicken generator, because one of the first villagers I got was a butcher, and he did require chickens. Oh, this is where the sugarcane farm comes out. So as I go from my original cellar from starting game point, back and forth, it eventually spits out here, and I can just walk my paper right into the village. Oh, I thought he turned. He hasn't turned yet. When you see red circles, he's still in the process of healing from being a zombie. When it turns to violet, well, it'll do two things. It'll turn to violet, those little bubbly circles that are coming off him, which I assume is meaning a stinky vapor or something like that. But his uniform will change. There he goes, right there, right in front of us. So he has changed now. I'm very close to a desert, and I believe the villagers are wearing desert. I think that's the desert material. Anyway, we gotta bust this door. Use a steel door so that raids can't sense it. Oh, I'm gonna have villagers go block him. Anyway, he's gonna turn around and come in. This is my village. I'm pretty heavy on librarians. That's because I like the spell books that they create. I do have at least one of every style of villager. These toolsmiths. The smithing table is awesome. Having diamond pickaxes, you get them to master level, you get diamond pickaxes basically for free, because these are converted villagers. I'm just waiting for those guys to clear the door. They can't go anywhere but except back up into the monster generator, so I'm not worried about it. Worst case, when nighttime comes, that's a weaponsmith, that's an armorer, well, even just an armorer per se. Here we got, I usually strip off these enchantments. Although the blasting one, you could double up on these and make it's only 6 emeralds though. This is what I was going to say. 1 emerald. That's from the discount effect that you get. This guy here gets me an emerald for just a few stones. Where's the smith? I'm looking for a smith. I'm not seeing one off. Where are you guys? That's weaponsmith. Well, same with weaponsmiths. 1 emerald for a diamond sword. I mean, it's cheaper than going and mining diamonds. Cartographer. I'm only seeing armorers. My weaponsmiths must compare as a farmer. So 1 pumpkin is 1 emerald. So basically, you can get diamond tools for 1 pumpkin. I mean, how cheap is that? I have a pumpkin farm. I got a pumpkin farm. I think it's 42 pumpkins long up top right now. There's a toolsmith. Pickaxe. Enchanted pickaxe. 7. So that's not bad. Here's another smith. This one's in breaking 2. This guy over here was efficiency 2. So if I just buy a few of those pickaxes, use the anvil to combine them, we're talking a pretty advanced pickaxe. Efficiency 5, I'm breaking 3. It doesn't take hardly any levels at all to do that. This one here has a fortune enchantment on it and a mending enchantment. Actually, all my tools have mending because I'll sit by my generator Just give me a second, I'm going to check. Yeah, they're all out right now, so I'm going to just, oh, get out of here, get out of here. Get my door back on. And I got to put the carpet down because the iron gnomes, like, they will generate anywhere that the game allows. I don't feel like killing this guy. He generated right in the water. I tried to do a traditional kind of plains style bell area, but the villagers kept jumping up, getting in the water, getting caught, so I had to block that off. But nonetheless, they still were able to generate an iron gnome in the center. So that is my world, and my underground research lab is what I call these usually. I used to call it the DARPA lab, but I don't honestly know if DARPA is underground or not. Probably, but it's a Minecraft research lab. And to finish this video off, see, I'm well into the game, so this is going to be a fairly long video because I haven't had a chance to do any detail. Before I forget, I have to do this. I gotta go block this. Very dangerous for me not to block that because I might come back and open up the spawner and the mob farm, and they will be able to get into this little corridor, and it's nasty to clear off 30 or 40 creatures at once when they're caught in my corridor. So we can actually open this back up. Yeah, I swear on another world that I built, I am going to put a piston up here so I can just throw a switch. I don't have to have... Well, this is actually trying to block from iron gnomes generating here as well. It's crazy how fast they generate. These are creatures, of course, that just appeared while I was turning that villager. And I don't see another villager in there. If you ever want to do what I'm doing, you can actually tell if there's a villager in there even when there's this many mobs, because they have a distinctive growl that they do. About every 5 to 7 seconds, I'd say, they let out this growl that's different than any other mob. So you'll know there's one mixed in there, and then you don't use your sweeping edge sword and clear off these guys like this. Like, plus I have looting 3 on my sword, so it's crazy. You just get armor and endless drops. Most of this stuff just goes in the garbage now. I don't need it. My bow has infinity on it. Not the bow you see me carrying right now, but my main battle bow is sitting at the house, or at my cellar. I don't know if it's daytime. Yeah, it's daytime, so I'll be able to go up and not have to worry about too much, especially since I have the grid pattern laid down. There's not too much that generates nearby to me. This was handy. I got a swamp here, and I've killed slimes, and I still haven't built a stupid sticky piston to block off that drop zone. I'm just fearful that if there's a bunch of monsters in there dropping while I'm trying to create that whole piston area, I'm going to have to fight them off, of course. And there's just no way for me to safely get up in there and block it. They generate so fast that this is just a wool harvester. And it's harvesting, I believe, yeah, he's a white sheep, so it's harvesting white wool for me. And it just goes into hoppers, and underneath the ground here, the hoppers are actually lined up with a chest in my cellar. So that's already 20 minutes. I'm going to end this video. For anybody who actually made it this far, thank you for watching. I've never done this before, so this is my first crack at it. Hopefully it sounds okay. And yeah, so it's collect. These are wool that I just added to it. All the ones that the sheep is generating will show up top here. Yeah, so as I expand this, eventually what's going to happen, I'll just add one more minute to this here. What's going to happen is I will build surface structures in the general area over here next to the mob farm. This is where the raiding party is going to come. So if I come across a pillaging group, kill them, I'll get the buff. As soon as I step in this general area, it's going to generate a raid. So I'm very careful not to be doing that right now, because I cannot defend myself from a raid. And of course a raid doesn't end until you kill all 7 levels when you're in hardcore. And the 7th wave of a raid in hardcore is actually quite difficult. You got to be pretty spot on with your bow. Have a maxed out bow. You got to have yourself a structure generated that you can be above and range to them. They're going to be trying to get to the bell of my village. So they'll be wandering around in this little... I'm going to enlarge this a little bit and then create fortifications that make them walk in straight lines so that I can hit them with the bow, because they wander around so quickly that you don't even have a chance to aim at them. Alright, so that's it for this one here. I'll make another video if I get to them, either the structures or something interesting happens. I will show you how I'm progressing.